Sup, Nerdmigos? I'm the Jive talking nerd, John Norgrove. We have wife here, but you can't see her. The lighting in this kitchen is going to make a lot of these bad. So this is what we're going to do. Is you're going to look at my face, then we're going to go to the cooking part, then you're going to go look back at my face. I'm sorry about my face part. It's obviously morning. You can see I have not done my hair. So we are making Eggsadillas. This is like Julie's main source of breakfast. They're delicious, and you're gonna super love them. So check that shit out. All right, Julie's on.
Hi. So as you can see, I just woke up and I look fantastic as always. Thank you, internet. So we're gonna make Eggsadillas. This is something that I just made up because we have chickens, we eat a lot of eggs, and I really like to eat tortillas. And a lot of times I eat breakfast on the go because I have to drive about 45 minutes to get to work. So what I used to do before all of this is make these, and then sometimes I'd eat it in the car. It's good fresh out of the pan, and it's also good when it's kind of like cooled down a bit. So you're really gonna get a few main ingredients. So you need oil. I have corn oil from the Asia Mart, best corn oil you can ever buy. We've got some salt, we got some pepper, we got some hot sauce, some tortillas. I prefer corn, but you could really use any tortillas you want for you flour-eating tortilla monsters. We've got some pickled jalapenos, cheese, and eggs. This is actually enough to make breakfast for 2 of us, but if you're doing it for just one person, you need 2 tortillas, 2 eggs.
Would one say that it's just for the 2 of us?
It's just the 2 of us. Yeah. So, yeah. So, first off, I cook in a cast iron skillet, like 90% of the time. And you want this baby to be nice and hot. So, what you're going to do is you're going to pour about a half to a whole tablespoon of oil. I like to think of it as 1 glug because I don't measure that stuff. That's the beauty of this recipe. You don't really have to measure anything. So, so what you want to do is get your oil in there, get your pan hot, and then once you can see that the oil is shimmering, that is when you're looking at it and it's taking like the reflection of light near you, it's like ripply and not flat. So once the oil is shimmering, you're going to go ahead and get your eggs and drop them in. You want to burst the yolks so that you kind of get that yolky goodness in there, because
I think you can just say break the yolks. Burst the yolks.
I want to burst the yolks.
Yeah.
These are eggs from our chickens. So
you'll meet the chickens one day. Don't worry.
So these are nice farm fresh eggs. Happy chickens make delicious eggs. And if you feed your chickens lots of shrimp holes, which we do, they get this like beautiful orangey hue that you can kind of see there. So you get your oil real hot and you drop your eggs in here because you want it to pretty much start automatically cooking or like immediately have it cooked on the edges and also get these bubbles. That crispiness is what's really going to help you here. So this is the place where you want to like put your seasonings. The beauty of this is you can put whatever seasonings you want. I usually go with some basic salt, black pepper, and then John likes to have pickled jalapenos in his. And you can see this is cooking very quickly, so you want to move quite fast when you're doing this. And then if you're doing hot sauce, you do hot sauce on the first side. So if you're using any seasonings like, really literally any herbs that you can think of, now is the place to put them in. I especially like putting curry powder on mine because I love curry powder. So next you're going to take your first tortilla and you're going to kind of smush it down. You'll see that it kind of pushes some of the uncooked bits out. That's fine. What you really want to do is you want to try to glue the tortilla to the eggs. And then you want to let that cook for a minute.
Okay, while that is cooking, let me show you how I purchase pickled jalapenos. It's a big old jar of pickled jalapenos, right? That's the way to do it. We go to this restaurant supply place. Just set that down. We go to this restaurant supply place. It is the best, dude. You can buy so much, like bulk jalapenos, bulk cheese, all that stuff, which is why we're using just hand sliced cheese and stuff like that. So that's one of those things where it's like, if you use jalapenos, not going to go bad. They sit on the counter, they're fine, right? They're pickled, they got more than enough acid and whatnot. So it's like if you use a bunch of that stuff, look at buying something like that, dude. We saved so much money buying jalapenos like this versus buying those little jars of jalapenos. That's the secret sauce.
So once you've let that cook for about a minute, like actually literally about a minute, you'll notice that if you take your spatula, it kind of moves around without sticking. And you can see that this is still liquidy, but not too bad. So you're just going to carefully put your spatula underneath and you're going to flip it. And you can see you've got this nice caramelization. You can't see it you can't feel it because you can't feel things through YouTube like that.
Yeah, I'll feel it. It's quite hot, guys. It's quite hot.
It's crispy on the bottom, and that's what you want. So next you take your cheese because you have to glue the other side to your tortilla. So you can do any kind of cheese you want. You can do shredded cheese. You can do hand sliced cheese. You can do Kraft singles. Doesn't matter what kind of cheese you do.
Yeah,
you
we're
could
using sharp cheddar here, right?
This is mild cheddar.
Oh, mild cheddar.
Yeah. But you can also not use cheese at all. I don't use vegan cheeses, so I don't know if that stuff works. But if it melts, it'll probably work. And then you put your top one back on, and you let that one cook for about another minute.
Real question here, guys. What the fuck is vegan cheese?
It's
is it
cheese
just
made out of
wax with color?
I think it's made out of soy.
Gross.
Yeah.
That sounds gross. Just eat regular cheese. Go.
All right, we're back, and it's cooked for about a minute or so. You can kind of tell because your cheese on top is kind of melty, and if you did it right, the cheese kind of falls off onto the side, and then you get the crispiest cheese possible. You can also see that the tortilla has kind of been like floppy and is starting to meld to things. So now you're gonna flip it again.
One more time.
One more time, like that song.
Yeah.
I don't know the words to that. All I know is one more time.
I'm pretty certain that's the only lines in the song.
There's other words, and they sound kind of like. Okay, so now you let this cook again. If you're doing a bunch of stuff, you're trying to get ready to head out the door, or whatever it is that you're doing, you can also turn off the heat at this moment in time, and it will just continue to cook to essentially the level where it's crispy on the other side of the tortilla. So that is how to make it, and then next we'll show you how to eat it. Okay. So melty, so cheesy. Right about now is where you want to take it out. But if you've already turned off the skillet, it's going to be kind of already melting, so you're just going to plop that bad boy onto a plate. Look at all that beautiful melty cheese. It is going to be so tasty. And once this is cooled to your desired temperature, it's ready to eat. It's cheesy, it's eggy, and it's got some tortillas, and then whatever spices it is that you feel like you have in there. So I've used anything like curry, oregano, Mexican spices, paprika, you name it. You can put tiny sliced vegetables in there if you want.
Yeah, like pico de gallo, tomato, onion.
Yeah, salsa is a little too liquidy, but if you like strain it, it's probably fine. I wouldn't usually go with tomatoes because it makes this a whole liquidy mess. And at that point, just make huevos rancheros. What are you doing with your life?
That's fair. That's fair. All right, next time. That's the big reveal right there. Eggs, cheese, and deliciousness. So tasty. All right, Nerdmigos. So that was Eggsadillas. They are delicious. You should definitely make them, and pretty much can be made out of any quesadilla and egg-based ingredients. I imagine if you are the kind of person who ate eggs in a powder or jug form, you could probably use those. Just the same if you don't do spicy stuff, you could probably add something else in that spice category. I think Julie actually ended up adding the that extra spice to hers. What did you add to yours?
Curry powder.
Curry, yeah. So she actually ended up adding curry powder to it after saying that. So, yeah. Make them. If you make them, tag us in a picture. Let me see your Eggsadillas, man. But either way, I've been John Norgrove. That was Wife. That is an Eggsadilla. And yeah, don't forget to like, comment, share, subscribe, and tell us what you think. We'll see you next time.